in last class we have discussed about the when the assets are alternatives having the different lives means unequal lives. So there are two methods which we are going to use for calculating the which is the best alternative. So in that case we have discussed about the first method, that is common multiple method. In that we have taken the LCM of the life of two alternatives, and then we have equalized the life based on the LCM and repeated, we can say repeated. Okay, so we are repeating the same cash flow diagram, repeated cash flow diagram method. We can call it as the another name is called as repeated cash flow diagram. And the second one is study period method. The second one is study period method. So in this we have discussed it is based on the specified duration that is correspond to the length of a project or the period of a duration which we have discussed in the last class. And also that can be taken as that study period is taken as the length of shortest life, length of the shortest life of all okay competing alternatives, shortest life of all competing alternatives. You can take any way. And the second one is the known duration of required service. This also we can take the known duration, I can say known duration of required service. Yeah, known duration of required service means I can take, say, I can take 2 years or 3 years, like known duration of required service. Then the time before a better replacement becomes available. The time before means we need to take the time before better replacement available. Better replacement available. That time period which we take, it should be either of this. Okay. So here, if you look at the shortest life or known duration or the time before the better replacement available. So anyone we can use, anyone, any option of this can be used. Any of this option of can be used. So we can take, say, for example, how it can be solved. One example we'll take, and then so that you will understand how this method will be used in calculating the which is the best alternative, So here I'll take alternative 1. Okay, I'll take alternative 1, which is having, say, for example, initial cost. P is the initial cost, and which is taken as 3,000 rupees, 3,200, say. Sorry, 2,300, say. Okay, 2,300, and there is an annuity of annual operating maintenance cost, annual operating and maintenance cost, which is taken as rupees 250. Okay, and the service life is given as it is 3 years. N is 3 years. And I, the rate of interest is going to be 15%. I is equal to 15%. This is alternative 1. And I have alternative 2, which has the initial cost, that is P is the initial cost, which is, say, rupees 3,200, and say the annual operating and maintenance cost, which is equal to, say, rupees no, here 0 is the no operating maintenance cost. We have only the salvage value at the end of the service. That is, salvage value is given as rupees 400, and N is equal to, it is 4 years. So if you look at, this is 3 years and this is 4 years, and so it is unequal lives. And of course, I is equal to rate of interest is 15%. And if you look at here, this one is N is equal to 3 years, and this is going to be N is equal to 4 years. So these are the unequal lives. Unequal lives, when you get, then we need to go for two methods. One is the common multiple method or repeated cash flow diagram, or you can use the study period method, which we are discussing now. Okay. So in this study period method, I am assuming this service period for comparison of all these methods. I am taking 2 year study period. So 2 year study period means I am taking only for, because here it has 2 years, it has, and also it has 4 years, so it will be containing the 2 years. So 2 year study period. So I am taking the 2 years study period. Okay. So this is what we can say known service we have taken. There are three options which we are told: shortest life, known duration, and the time before a better replacement available. Okay. So among these three, I have chosen the known service, say for example, 2 year study period. So we draw the cash flow diagram for the alternative one and alternative, or asset one and asset two. So if you draw the cash flow diagram here, 0, and it has the service life of initial cost of say 2300 rupees, 2300, and at the end of first year I have 250 rupees is the annual maintenance cost, and at the second year is also we have, then third year also you have 250 rupees. So this is the actual cash flow diagram for the given asset one. Similarly, if I draw the cash flow diagram for this, so I have for 4 years. So at the time 0, we have the initial cost of rupees 3200, and there is no 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4. So at the end of fourth year, we have the salvage value of rupees 400. So here, if you look at, I have taken the studies 2 year study period. So if you look at this, the 2 year study period means I'll be considering the cash flow diagram up to this point only. I will be considering the cash flow diagram up to this point only. So similarly, here also I'll be considering the cash flow diagram up to this only. So if you look at only, see, I am considering this is the 2 years, and I am considering this one, this cash flow diagram is also 2 years. This is the 2 year study period, because I have taken as the 2 year study period. You can take tax 2 years. So that is the method which I'm using for finding the which is the best alternative by using this 2 year study period when the lives are unequal. Because the asset one life is going to be 3 years, asset two life is going to be 4 years. So in that case, I can use two methods. One is the common multiple method or repeated cash flow diagram. Second method is study period method. So here the study period method, I can assume a known service of 2 years, because the 2 years should be present in this cash flow diagram as well as in this cash flow diagram. Then only you can take the 2 years. We cannot take the, say for example, 5 years, 6 years like that, because it doesn't reflect in this cash flow diagram. So 2 years shortest life, we need to take shortest life or known service period. So here I've taken as the 2 years. So in this case, now if I rewrite the cash flow diagram, I'll be considering rupees 2300, and at the end of first year I'll be having 250 rupees as the annuity. At the end of second year, at 250 rupees as the annuity. And similarly, if I redraw this cash flow diagram, I said two life cash flow diagram, at the end of first year, at the end of second year, you have only rupees 3200. So no other cash flows will come into the picture, even though there is a salvage value. At the end of fourth year, for consider calculation part, we are not taking into consideration, because I'm using this 2 year study period. So I have to consider only 2 years. So now the life for this asset and for this asset, it is same. So in this case, now I need to calculate the present worth for this. So for this present worth of the asset one at I is equal to 15%, and I is equal to 15%. So if you look at, we have the cash flows, which is this represents the annuity. If I write the equation, so all it is cost only. So if you represent this cost as a negative minus 2300, then minus rupees 250 means that is I'll write the equation then only. Okay, I'll write the equation first, then substitution. I'll write the equation first, then we can go for substitution, right? So in this case, minus P, that is minus A, annuity is given because this is a uniform series of payments, annuity is given, and what we are finding, it is a P we are finding, and for the given A and I comma N. N is for here, it is going to be 2 years. Okay, so then if I substitute, minus P is the minus 2300, annuity is 250 rupees. Then factor for I is equal to, of course, 15%. Here I is equal to 15%. By looking into that tables, P by A comma 15 comma 2 years, I'll be getting a 1.6257. Okay. So by using this, I'll be finding the value of present worth of the alternative one is going to be minus rupees 2,707. So this is the present worth 1, present worth value of asset 1, and similarly if you take the present worth of 2, present worth of alternative 2, if I write the equation, minus P, because it is a cost. So if you look at this, no other cash flows are there, so I'll be ending at this particular point only. So the resultant of present worth of this alternative 2 is minus 3,200. So PW2 is going to be minus 3,200. So by comparing these present worth of first and the second alternative here, if you look at, which shows that no A1, that is asset 1, this is what you can say, asset 1 having the lowest present worth compared to the asset 2, for the I have taken only 2 years service period. So given that there is assumption, as we taken that assumption in the second this one, there is no salvage value, because here the salvage value is not coming to the picture. Salvage value is not coming to the picture for this asset. So the salvage value of A2, anyhow we have a make present worth of equal is going to be 652. So that we can make this as salvage value. If we calculate for this both year, for both the assets, it will be coming around. So A2 is preferred than A1 because of this salvage value. Which comes under comparison of salvage value, it is giving only 650 rupees. So this asset, if I take out this comparison, that is salvage value for A2, if I want to calculate, which is giving around 652 rupees. So, but comparatively, even though it is lower cost, but asset 1 showing that lower present worth, but asset 2 is having the salvage value of amount. Say for example, he has mentioned that around 400. So we'll be getting the alternative 2 is the better alternative compared to the 1. So this is how we can use the 2-year study period method. 2-year study period. Here I have taken the 2 year for the study period. So this is the method which you are going to use when there are unequal lives. Whereas n is equal to 3 in the case of asset 1 and n is equal to 4 in the case of asset 1. And also one method is common multiple method. Second one is.
So how did you get 652 as a salvage value?
Yeah, this is a good question. Yes, I'm showing. Wait a minute. That's what I thought. No one are there. Very good. You're there then. Right. So here the salvage value of this asset 1 is going to be calculated, because that is the present worth value which is taken as 2,707 we got, right? So from this 2,700 we have the present worth of this. This is the present worth of this, that is 3,200, which will be summation of this. For this we are going to calculate, right? Because this plus I'll use this way. Okay. So I'll use this way. What I can use is 2,707, because assuming that we are don't have the salvage value of this particular thing. So there is a salvage value, and we are going to find out the present worth. Salvage value is nothing but it is a future amount. It is a future amount. It is not annuity. So that is why I'm using the factor P by F. I'm using the factor P by F. So then I is for 15 years and then to this one. So here the salvage value is nothing but the difference of this both present worths, both present worth. So that is equal to 3,200, which you have calculated this one. Let's say if I use this one, that is the salvage value for A2, that is asset 2, which makes the equal to the present worth of the asset 2 will be equal to the present worth of asset 1, present worth of asset 1. So that is by using this equation, I'll get a salvage value of S into P by F, comma 15, comma 2, which is equal to 3,200 minus 2,707, which will give around 493, and this factor which is going to be obtained from the table, that is if I use the table P by F comma 15 years and then 2 years, I'll be getting around 0.7561. I'm getting 0.7561. So here 493. So this S is equal to 493 divided by, this S is equal to 493 divided by 0.756. So this will give around 652 something, around 652 something. So this is how the salvage value, which means that asset 2 is preferred to this asset 1 because of when the resale value of asset 2 at the end of 2 years is more than this 652, more than this 652. So that is greater than the resale value of the asset 1. At the same time, we are going to calculate at the same time. So the advantage of calculating this what you call estimation of S is going to be, it is required about whether the S will exceed the certain amount or not, So that we have got 652 is the salvage value for the asset 1. Okay, so that is why asset 2, which is taken as, even though the present worth amount minus 3,300 and this is the lowest, but we are not preferring this A1. It is not preferring with the A1 because we have got the resale value for the asset 2 is greater than the asset 1 at that particular time period, because here the salvage value in this case it is 0, but we are calculating the salvage value in this case because at the end of 4 years, it is going to be 400, that is mentioned. But at the end of 2 years, what is the salvage value? Because that is not taken into consideration for calculation. That is not considered because this is the 3,200 and 1 and 2. Because we have not taken this salvage value here. So what is the salvage value? Because it is, this asset is having the salvage value at the end of 4 years of 400. So even at the end of third year is also it will be having. Even at the end of second year is also it will be having. So what is the amount at the end of second year this asset will be having as the salvage value is, that we are finding, that is 652. So if I subtract the 652, so I'll be getting lesser than this present worth 1. So that's why I'm using the present worth 2 is the best alternative. So that is how, because we have not considered, because the salvage value is at fourth year, right? So when you take the assumption of this 2-year study period, so here the salvage value is to be considered for the second year. So what is the salvage value for the second year? That is why I have used the factor, that is S into P by F, because here we have taken the cost as negative and the revenue as the positive. So P by F in comma 15 comma 2. So this factor per second year, this one. So at the end of second year, what is the salvage value for the asset 2? For the asset 2 that we are going to calculate for the end of second year, I am getting 652. At the end of third year, it will be lesser than this, and at the end of fourth year, that I know that it is a 400. So that is how we have to calculate because the salvage value is nothing but it is a useful life of the service or asset. So when I am assuming that it is a 2-year study period, so at the end of 2 years, what is the useful life of that particular asset? So that we need to calculate by using this way, by using this way. Okay. Now
So
you
for
got
present worth 1, then why do we take it as 0?
which one? No,
For
no.
the
For
asset
this,
1.
for this asset one, not present worth I have not taken as 0. S is equal to 0. That is salvage value is 0 here. Salvage value for the asset one he has not mentioned. See, if you look at this data, if you look at the data for the asset one,
So
for
if
the
it's not mentioned, we take it as 0.
yeah, obviously, obviously. So here he has mentioned, it is salvage value is 400. Here he has not mentioned anywhere, he has not mentioned. If you look at this data, initial cost is given, annual operating and maintenance cost is given. See here, he has not given the annual and operating and maintenance cost here. But I have assumed this as a 0. Likewise, here the salvage value is not given. So that is why I have taken S is equal to 0 for the alternative one. And here he has given the salvage value at the end of 4th year. Of course, useful life. Always the salvage value will be taken into consideration at the end of useful life. Useful life is here 4 years. But when you take the calculation of the present worth, in this case, by using the 2-year study period method, I have assuming only 2 years for the cancel calculations, right? So when I'm assuming this 2 years, I'm leaving this cash flow, right? I'm not taking into consideration here. So in order to take the into consideration, what is the salvage value at the end of the second year for this is going to be calculated. So if I use only 2 year study period, you have to consider only up to this point. By using this, alternative one is the best. By using this, only we can find out that alternative one is the best. But when you look at this, even considering the salvage value of the second asset at the end of second year, I will be getting 650 here. I will be getting 650. So if I am calculating the present worth, while calculating the present worth the equation for the same, see present worth equation minus 3200. Here this is the plus 652 into P by F comma 15 comma 2. So P by F comma 15 comma 2. So by using this equation, I'll be getting lesser than the present worth of the asset 1. PW2 is less than the PW1 if I consider this. If I consider C. So you can say two ways. That is the first one is going to be without considering the salvage value for the both assets. Okay. And the second one is by considering the salvage value for the asset 2. As it is asset 1 is not there, so no need to consider the salvage value. But asset 2 is having the salvage value. We need to consider and then we do. So first case, asset 1 is the preferable because it is shows the lowest present worth. That is because it is a cost dominated cash flow diagram. We will be taking lesser value. That is 2707 is lesser than the 3200. So in the first case, I told that asset 1 is preferable, right? Asset 1 is preferable. When you go for the second calculation, that is asset 1, see if you look at here, I have the asset 1 having the present worth of minus 2707 and the present worth of this asset 2 is minus 3200, which is the lowest. So asset 1 is preferable in this case. But if you consider, that is if you consider by taking the salvage value into consideration, then the equation will changes and we can say the present worth value of the second asset will be giving the lesser than the present worth value of 1 because we are taking into consideration of salvage value at the end of second year. At the end of second year, so the calculation minus 3200 plus 650 into P by F comma 15 comma 2. If you calculate, then I'll be getting around minus 2 less than the minus 2500 or something else we are going to get. So this shows that PW2 is less than the PW1. So asset 2 is preferable when you consider the service life at the end of second year. So that is the second one I am telling, considering the salvage value. Considering salvage value. First one is because salvage value getting at the end of 4th year, so neglecting the salvage value, asset 1 is preferable. Asset 2 is preferable if you consider the salvage value. So that is the study period method which you can calculate. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next we'll go with so till now we discussed assets with equal lives. There are one is assets with equal lives. assets with equal lives, that we have calculated directly. So because n is same for the n1 is equal to n2, that is alternative 1 and alternative 2, both are same, so we can use the present worth calculation for easily, so without any problem. When is having the asset with unequal lives, that we have used the, where n1 is not equal to n2, we can use the two methods, that is common multiple method. One is common multiple method, the other one is study period method. The other one is study period method. So this is what we have used till now. Next, one more is assets with infinite lives. Infinite lives means assuming that it will last forever. The survey asset, the asset which are going to use, that is asset which are going to use, last forever. Infinite means for the larger values, I mean larger value of n. N is larger value, n is larger value, maybe 500 years, 1000 years, okay, likewise up to 100 years, 300 years, 400 years, like that. So that n is very larger value, we can assume that the infinite lives. So example I can mention, that is construction of dam. So when you start with the construction of dam, it will last for a longer period. It will last for longer period. Those assets we can call it as, assets with infinite lives. So in that case, how we are going to find the worth of this or capitalized cost of that particular construction of dam? Because what is the amount, what is the capitalized cost which I have to invest at the time zero, so that this asset will be last for longer. Okay, so in that case we need to find out. So first cost, in this case we need to find out what is the first cost. First cost means the initial cost which you are going to invest on the construction of dam. Okay, second one is, we can say that disbursement or expenditure. Disbursement, because if once the construction of dam is over, we will be knowing that what is the maintenance cost and operating cost for the dam, that we need to take as a disbursement or expenditure, which we can annual, I can say it is annual. Okay, it will be taken as annual. Okay, so that is, we can call it as just a disbursement. Okay, just a disbursement, I can represent this as a D or whatever it is, disbursement. So sum of these, so the sum of first cost and this what you call expenditures for maintaining of this particular dam, disbursement or expenditure. Okay, disbursement or expenditure together so because when I'm saying this is the annual means the cash flow. Likewise third year, likewise for the number of n is very large, that is, say for example 500 years means infinite. N is infinite. Infinite is nothing but larger value I'm taking, say 500 years. Let's say for 500 years. So when you consider that, the factor for this cash flows, because if we divide it into how many cash flows are there, say there is a one cash flow here which represents the initial cost, and the another cash flows are uniform series of payments. For this, what is the factor I can use? Because for these all annuity, I am finding the present worth. So present worth for the given A, comma I, comma N. So if I use this factor, we know that the factor, that is P by A, comma I, comma N, generally we take into the consideration of 1 by I into 1 plus I whole to the power of n. Only factor I am taking here, 1 plus I whole to the power of n minus 1 divided by 1 plus I whole to the power of n. So this is the actual P by A for this cash flow. Means what I mean to say is for these cash flows, I have the uniform series of payments. So for that I use the factor that is P by A comma I comma n. For that factor we have the equation like this. We have the equation like this. So in this case, as the n tends to infinity, means n is the larger value. So then 1 plus I whole to the power of n will become 1 plus I whole to the power of n is far greater than the 1 value. So this one is neglected. This one is neglected as n tends to infinity. Sorry. So I can write P by A comma I comma infinity 1 by I. So here if I neglect this 1 plus I whole to the power of n and divide it by 1 plus I whole to the power of n. So these two will be cancelled out. I'll be getting 1 by I. I'll be getting 1 by, as the n is the larger value. So this n 1 plus I, this 1 plus I whole to the power of n is far greater than the 1. So this term is going to be neglected. Once you neglect this one, so this divided by this will be cancelled out. I'll be getting 1 by I as the disbursement. 1 by I as the disbursements. So now what is the capitalized cost? We can find out from here. It is, that is, so capitalized cost, which is going to be is taken as sum of the first cost, that is the first cost is P, and plus 1 by I. This disbursement into 1 by, right? That actually what is the factor we are going to write? Okay, I'll write the equation first. Then we'll substitute. Yeah. So here I can write, I'm given the disbursement cash flow diagram is A into P by A comma I comma n is going to be here is infinity. So here this annuity is called as disbursement. Here the annuity is called as disbursements. So this is equal to P plus A into, which I got, this has going to be 1 by I, or we can say P plus A by I, P plus A by I. So this is how we are going to calculate the capitalized cost of any bigger projects which are going to take. Say construction of dam is a bigger project, so we can find out what is the capitalized cost it is going to be occur from the given expenditure and all those. So we take one example on this. Say for example, even going for starting the any education organization. Say for example, or construction of building. Say for example, we have taken one example here, the capitalized cost which is taken as considered. I mean, I have given one example here. There are 10 crores rupees, 10 crores is granted by government, say, okay, by government for construction of new block, and here I have taken annual maintenance for for the block is estimated say rupees 10 lakhs, and rupees 12 lakhs is going to be required. 12 lakhs is required for the painting and say some small repairs. Okay, painting and repairs, 12 lakhs is required. Not every year, this is for every 10 years. So this is assuming that every 10 years. So now if you look at this, this is the what is given, and if the budget is granted to take care of the perpetual maintenance, how much of the amount can be used. Now, this is the budget which is granted. Okay, this is the budget which is granted. So how much of the amount, how much of the amount can be used for initial construction cost, initial construction cost. So this is what is asking. So what is the amount which is going to be used to for initial construction of cost is nothing but what? It is a first cost. It is a first cost. So, and we can say that it is a rate of interest is also to be given, that is I is equal to 6%, which is compounded annually. Compounded annually. So this is the data. This is the data. So in this first we write down. So this is the 10 crores budget is the we can say it is a capitalized cost. So given is that capitalized cost because we need to find out the how much is the amount can be used for initial cost of the construction. Initial cost of the construction. So given capitalized cost is going to be 10 crores rupees, 10 crores. Okay, and he has given that the annual maintenance cost for the block. It is annual. It is annual. It is annual. Annual estimated maintenance cost, which is rupees 10 lakhs. And also in addition to that, for painting and small repairs, he has given that, say for example, rupees 12 lakhs for every 10 years. This is very important. For every, this is not annual. This is not annual, for every 10 years. So now is asking for what is the initial cost. So here the n is equal to, assuming that this is a building which will be last for larger years, the 100 years. 100 years. Now we have the equation. We have the equation that is capitalized cost. That is capitalized cost is equal to capitalized cost. Of course, I is equal to 6%. Capitalized cost is equal to what we have the equation P plus disbursement or expenditure. Disbursement or expenditure divided by I. Divided by I. So here, yeah. So from this we can write P is equal to capitalized cost minus disbursement by I. So what is the here when you look at that total annual cost, that is we need to consider this total annual cost is going to be for every 10 years it will be annual maintenance cost plus annual repair and painting cost. So we need to annotize. We need to annotize this 12 lakhs. So what does it mean is, say for example, here I have a equation. Okay, say cash flow. I'll explain through cash flow. So at yeah. So now I'll take this. Yeah. So this is 0 and 1 and 2. So for every 10 years, you will be having additionally there is a 12 lakhs, right? So this amount is nothing but it is a future amount. It is a future amount. So this future amount has to be find out what is the annual maintenance cost for this painting. What is the annual maintenance cost? Annual maintenance cost for painting. We know for this is the operating cost, it is 10 lakhs. That is, here it is 10 lakhs is there. Here it is 10 lakhs is there. So this is one disbursement. So there are two disbursement. So one disbursement, I can say D1 plus D2. I can say D1 plus D2. So D1 stands for this annual estimated cost, that is 10 lakhs. But here it is D2 cannot be taken as annual because it is for 10 years. So that is why I am making this 12 lakhs. What is the annuity for this 12 lakhs? So for the given F, we are going to find out A by F a factor. I am going to use the A by F factor. So annuity for this 12 lakhs, that is annual maintenance for painting. It is nothing but I am taking A what is given, that is f is given, what you are finding a by f for I, that is 6%, and n is for how many years? 10 years I am taking. Even after 20 years also, it will be the annuity will be same for this 12 lakhs. Annuity will be the same 12 lakhs. So there will be a two disbursements, that is annuity 1, and annuity 1 like this, and annuity 2 for the painting and all. So for every year, there will be annuity 1 and there will be annuity 2. Annuity 1, annuity 2, annuity 1 and annuity 2. Like that for every year you will be having. So the sum of disbursement, that is A1 plus A2. So D1 plus D2 I am taking here, that is A1 plus A2. So A1 is given directly, but A2 is not given. That is, we are going to find out A2 is F into A by F comma 6 comma 10. So this 12 lakhs, when it is annualized for 10 years, that is factor, if I use around FI, 1 minute, I'll be using the factor for A by F 6% comma 10, 6% comma 10, 10 year 6%. By looking at the table for the factor A by F comma A by F, so A by F, it is for 10 years, yeah, 0.0759, 0.0759. So if I calculate this value, it is around rupees 91,000. Say for example, rupees 91,000. Okay, so this is what we can get. Means in addition to the 10 lakhs, which is estimated operating cost, painting cost, if I take into annual consideration, it will become 91,000. It will become 91,000. So now I can write P is equal to capitalized cost, that is 10 crores. So crores we can take it as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So okay, 10 crores. Okay, so we have the minus, then A1 plus A2. A1 is 10 lakhs, that is 10 lakhs, plus A2 is 91,000. A2 is 91,000 divided by I is equal to 0.06. So this is what we are going to use the calculation purpose. So he has mentioned the annual cost, the annual operating cost is going to be 10 lakhs. But second one is not the annual, that you need to make into annual by using the factors, by using the factors, that is this one. So how I made A2 is calculated for the future amount of 12 lakhs. For the future amount of 12 lakhs, what is the annuity I'm going to means here 91,000, 91,000, 91,000, then 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs. So if I add these two, that will become the disbursement. That will become the disbursement at the first year, disbursement at the second year, disbursement at the third year, and so on. Likewise, we are going to get. So here CC minus disbursement. So here I have to take A1 plus A2 divided by I. So by using this simplification, I'm going to get around roughly initial construction. Yes, initial construction cost, that is P, which is rupees uh, 8 crores
18 lakhs.
15,900 something. Okay, so this is the funds to be deposited to earn the interest for the sake of maintenance. So if I want to maintain, this is the funds which have to be deposited to take care of this construction of this project or block or building. Okay, so this is how we can use this assets with infinite lives. Assets with infinite lives. Next, okay, I'll stop today, and tomorrow on Wednesday class we'll be discussing with the what you call innovative question and as well as case study question. Okay, along with that we'll go with a new topic, that is future word comparison. Future word comparison. Okay, right. I'll take the attendance. 1 minute. mean. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.